calling to order the Monday, July 17th, 2017 regular meeting of the 36th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Baker. Councilmember Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Ravlin.
Here.
Councilmember Kadekel.
Here.
Councilmember Stedman.
Here.
Councilmember Turbrack.
Here.
And Mayor O'Dwyer.
Here. The first order of business is the approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Turbrack with support by Councilmember Kadekel. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Ravlin.
Yes.
Kadekel.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we come to the citizens' comments portion of tonight's meeting, when you may present your thoughts on issues that are not included on tonight's agenda. City Council members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or a department of the city, please sign your name on the sheet provided at the clerk's desk. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being discussed. When an individual has completed their comments, we ask that you refrain from gestures of approval or disapproval, because this can be intimidating to some residents. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence. First one I see coming to the microphone is Councilmember David Mills. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. David Mills, Berkley. This all started when my piano-loving daughter, who lives in London, England, decided to come home this summer for a visit and immediately said to me, "Dad, where can I go play piano?" To which I replied, "You can go play at use the piano at the senior center." To which I was later informed the senior center no longer has a piano. So that set in motion the task of trying to get a piano back into the senior center. So long story short, because it's definitely long, I'd like to thank a few people. I'd like to thank first my wife, Linda, for being the search committee of one and locating the piano. I'd like to thank Michael and Marianne Check and the Check family for donating the perfect piano. I'd like to thank the movers on both ends, both the professional movers that the Checks provided to load it up, and then the Parks and Rec department for unloading it and putting it in its proper home. And by the way, if you're ever asked how many people does it take to move a piano, the answer to that is either 2 professionals or 7 Parks and Rec employees.
Funny.
So if you know anything about moving a piano, you also know that when a piano is moved, it gets all out of whack, so it needs to be tuned again. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank Evola Music for donating a piano tuning to the now new senior center piano. I'd also like to thank Teresa, she's here somewhere, Parks and Rec Director, for essentially helping to coordinate and pull all of this together. Let's see if I'm forgetting anybody. I think that's probably it. So essentially, piano acquired, moved, and tuned for about 25 bucks. And we now have piano music back in the Berkeley Senior Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman.
Marty Smith on Earlmont. Mr. Mayor, council persons. We have a lot of seniors living near us in our neighborhood, and we're all supposed to get these big 65-gallon recycle bins in the next month or so. And a few people have asked me some questions, and I don't know the answers. Are they going to be allowed to keep using the small bins instead of dragging that big thing out every 2 months because they just don't use it that much, or they just don't have that much material to put in it. And what, if not, what do they do with the old bins? So if maybe that can get added to the website, give everybody a little more information about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marty. Seeing no one else coming to the microphone, then we move along to the consent agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
Approval of the minutes. Matter of approving the minutes of the regular 36th City Council meeting on Monday, June 19th, 2017. Warrant. Matter of approving warrant number 1316. Resolution number R2117. Matter of recognizing former city planner Amy Vanson for her 19 years of service with the city of Berkeley. And ordinance number 01117. Matter of considering the second reading of an ordinance to add section 12295 to Article 6 of Chapter 122, the Traffic and Vehicles of the City of Berkeley Code of Ordinances, to require vehicles parked on a street, highway, or municipal parking lot to have a valid registration plate. Full copy of this ordinance is posted for 10 days at the Berkeley City Hall, Library, and Community Center.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Cadecle, support by Councilmember Blanchard. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Gravelin,
Yes.
Kadeco,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now we move along to the regular agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
I've asked Councilmember Gravelin to read Resolution 2117.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Berkeley, Michigan, celebrating the achievements of Amy M. Vanson after 19 years of service as city planner for the City of Berkeley. Whereas Amy Vanson began her association with the City of Berkeley in 1996 as a consultant with Ayers, Lewis, Norris and May Incorporated, providing assistance to the Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. In addition, she worked with Berkeley administrators to develop a recreation master plan in 1998. And whereas, in 1999, Ms. Vanson was hired by the City of Berkeley and the City of Hazel Park, working part-time for each employer as city planner under an intergovernmental agreement. While with the City of Hazel Park, she revised the zoning map and ordinances, developed that city's 5-year recreation plan, and developed the Hazel Park Guide to Opening a Business. And whereas, in 2003, Amy Vanson ended her work relationship with the City of Hazel Park in order to stay home with her children, but remained with the City of Berkeley until 2017. During that time, she supervised the planning, building, and code enforcement operations, coordinated development reviews with other city departments, facilitated the development of the 2007 master plan and subsequent amendments that provided for multimodal transportation, bike routes, and residential land use. And whereas, she successfully performed her duties facilitating Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals meetings, revising numerous ordinances to address vacant and blighted properties in order to stabilize neighborhoods, coordinating with other departments to develop strategies in response to stormwater retention, fire codes and traffic safety issues, developed and implemented the nuisance per se hearing process to address blighted properties and absentee landlords, managed the hearing caseload to ensure timely completion of the process, and crafted policies mandating the placement of new trees in front of each newly constructed home. Whereas Amy supported the execution of signature events such as the Berkeley Art Bash and Cruise Fest, working with the Departments of Public Works, Public Safety, and Parks and Recreation. She also managed the architectural design process for the potential renovation of Berkeley City Hall and secured roughly $450,000 in grant funds for various city projects. And whereas, during the last 19 years, the character of Berkeley neighborhoods and business districts have been influenced and improved by Ms. Vanson's professional work ethic as an administrator and her knowledge of architecture and planning. Therefore, the City of Berkeley hereby proclaims and celebrates the achievements of Amy M. Vanson and acknowledges her contribution to the aesthetics and neighborhood charm that residents enjoy. In appreciation for her service to the City of Berkeley, we wish her well on this new journey as the Director of Information and Programs for the Michigan chapter of the American Planning Association. Introduced and passed this 17th day of July, 2017, at a regular meeting of the Berkeley City Council. Phil Dwyer, Mayor.
Thank you. I see a few people back there, I think, that would like to come to the microphone
Okay.
before.
I will yield the mic.
Very good.
I guess I'll start. David Barnett, Chairman of the Berkeley City Planning Commission. It's been my honor, Amy, to be able to work under you. Thank you. Thank you. You've been such a wonderful person to work with. Your knowledge has been extraordinary. Your abilities to communicate well with all of the Planning Commission and with me especially has been just absolutely fantastic. And I'm sorry to see you leave, but I know that the chapter for the Michigan Association of Planners is going to love you, and you're going to do a great job there. And thank you for everything you've done for me and for all of the members of the Planning Commission. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayor, City Council. Guess I should apologize for my clothing. I didn't know I was going to speak. During my career, I had a chance to work in municipalities throughout the state of Michigan and actually across the world. Berkeley, during Amy's tenure, has done nothing but get better. Even little things that I found very annoying, such as requiring better materials when people are renovating homes, has just gradually brought up the city here. And one of the things that's pretty cool is I just wandering around the neighborhood and realizing that 20 years ago, people used to come to Berkeley because it was an inexpensive place to come. But it had good schools, excellent public works, but you could get a house for pretty cheap. Now, single-family homes are going for about $400,000, new ones. And much of that is due to the efforts of the city planning department. It's become the place to be. And I'm just pleased as punch. Amy, I'm going to miss you. I hope that you are able to take what you've learned during the last 20 years and share it with other communities, because they're going to need your help. And I will miss you. I think of the Planning Commission and the ZBA. We have such a range of talent, skills, and backgrounds. And for Amy to herd this group of cats and get us to figure out what we should be doing and give us the information we need to make good decisions has been a wonderful experience. And thank you.
Sir, did you say your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Dean Smith. I'm a member of the Planning Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm a licensed builder here in the state of Michigan, and I live on Larkmore Boulevard. Is that enough?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Dean.
And since I'm here, Amy, I want to also just personally thank you for your service and just let you know it was a pleasure working with you.
The other Smith. Marty Smith, Vice Chair, Planning Commission. I guess I'm the second longest tenure on the Planning Commission right now. Amy was here when I started. I just want to say thank you. You've always come prepared. I guess we have to read the ordinances for ourselves now. And but it's been a pleasure working with you, and we have come a long way with her help, and we hope to continue with whoever's taking her place. It'll be a big job to fill. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Marty.
Tim Urad, live on Dorothea, and also 11-year member of the Planning Commission. And I'm really going to miss Amy, because a lot of times you come up with a thought during a meeting and you don't, I don't know the ordinance like I know she does. And I could answer a question, and she usually, without even looking something up, would have the answer. So I know as Commissioner Smith just said, Marty Smith said, I'm going to have to start doing my homework more and start brushing up on some of that ordinance stuff. But we're going to really miss you. So, and good luck with your new position. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim.
Shirley Hanson, Berkeley resident. I didn't plan on saying anything tonight. I first met Amy at the First Home Expo, and she had one of her children in a stroller, and I had taken down decorative balloons to give to Amy because her child loved balloons. And that was the start of a long friendship. And during that period of time, I was president of the Oakland Manor Homeowners Association. And whether it was the development of property on Woodward or an individual homeowner that had a question, I never worried about being able to give them an answer, because I knew when I came to see Amy, she would lay everything out and tell me all the details. And I love her. She's been a terrific asset to our city, and I consider her a friend, and I wish you well, Amy.
I'm Jim Cox. I live on Oxford, and I worked here for 35 years in the Public Safety Department. Amy, there were times when you and I bumped heads once in a while. It was nothing personal, please. But I wish, but we were doing our jobs. But anyways, I just wish you nothing but the best, girl. I hope your next endeavor is as much fun, enthusiasm as you brought to this city and the contributions that you made. And like I said, nothing personal, but it was a journey, it was a trip. I enjoyed it, and it was fun. And I have a lot of fond memories of you, and I hope you take a lot more away from here, because you gave us all a lot of fond memories. Thank you. Wish you the best.
Thank you.
Hello, Ryan Gazun. I live on Kipling, and also a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. About 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I was appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and it's one thing to sit in the audience, and I've sat in audiences at different cities for many years, but when you're sitting up there, it's rather daunting. So before my first meeting, Amy had actually told me about a training session at Oakland County. And I went to this training session, and I met different people from planning departments and planners from all over Oakland County and all over Metro Detroit. And a couple of the people came up to me and said, "Oh, you're from Berkeley, so you know Amy. Don't worry about anything. You're fine. Just follow her lead." Well, now with you leaving, I'm daunted again. So good luck on your new endeavor, and we will miss you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Paul Evans, Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. A lot of things everybody said ring true for the Zoning Board of Appeals in my experience in working with Amy. One thing that hasn't been said is having someone here with 19 years of experience involved in so much just brings so much institutional knowledge. So when we would ask a question of Amy, such as, well, how did this ordinance get this way, or why is this way, or why was that changed, Amy gave us the full answer. She left no stone unturned. And that was quite a value to the board. And Amy, I just appreciate that's one of many, many positive things that you brought to the board. I truly enjoyed working with you, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Yep.
Thanks, Paul. Anyone else in the audience? Then we have the City Council.
Oh.
Anybody on City Council? Councilmember Turbrack.
No pressure.
Thank you. Dean was right, Amy. Over the past 19 years since you've been here, we have seen some incredible progress in the city of Berkeley, and you've had played a huge role in all of that. A lot of folks don't necessarily think about how long of a time that is and where we started, and Dean did a good job of mentioning a number of the things and all the things that were read earlier. the master planning, progress. That doesn't just happen. You have a huge role of that, and I don't know that the residents really understand how much work you've done throughout those 19 years to get us here. It's not that you just come and sit in an office all day. And the institutional knowledge, we are certainly going to miss. And it wasn't just, the institutional knowledge, but you were also current on trends, everything that was happening. As the planning commissioners have mentioned, and I was the liaison for a couple of years to that, and I learned a lot, but you were able to answer every question, knew what was happening, knew what the trends, knew the research, and that's something that we're certainly going to miss. And we are going to miss everything that you did for the city of Berkeley. So I want to personally thank you for everything that you've done. 19 years is a long time. It's a long time. We've come a long way, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Cadickle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Amy, I remember when you started here from Ayers Lewis, so it's actually more than the 19 years, about 21 years, maybe almost 22. And I've watched you grow in the position as a resident. Whenever I had questions, you had the answers for me. I got to work closer with you as the ZBA liaison, and most recently on the ad hoc committee for the City Hall. But mainly, you hear a lot of positive words here today from people that have worked with you, but even out on the streets, homeowners and business owners, nothing but positive words about you, how great it was to work with Amy Vanson. And you represented our city very, very well. And I know Councilmember Turbrack mentioned it and Dean, but the institutional knowledge, you know what page to go to in that big code book. Like Tim says, going to be doing some more homework because a lot of us don't know exactly where to go, and that's going to be missed. And all I can say is that the city of Berkeley would not be where it is today without your hard work and dedication to this city. And I personally want to thank you for everything you've done, and just our loss is Maps gain, and best of luck in whatever you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Stedman.
First of all, I want to say that it was a pleasure to serve with you as a council member all these years, and also to serve with you on the committee that I was on to reimagine City Hall. You had everything prepared for us, every meeting we had.
And on Planning Commission. That's where you were when I
started.
I was
that's right, I was on Planning Commission when you started. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time.
You used to sit over there.
Right. But anyways, the committee to reimagine City Hall, every time we came to it, you were well prepared. You had everything mapped out for us, the history of what we were visiting and so on and so forth, how they got there, how they made their additions or renovations that they did, and so on. I have heard from people that you work with and other people in the state that you are probably one of the best planners in the state of Michigan, if not the very best. And it was a privilege to work with you, and I wish you luck in your next job because you deserve it. And but thank you for being with us for so long.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. We get a lot of questions from constituents, and they want answers on things. And you make us look smart because I come in and say, Amy, what about this? And she'll give me the answer, and I can go back and tell them, and they think I knew something. So it really works out good. But yeah, thanks for being proactive, and we have questions and getting answers to us, and it's being a great help. So thank you very much, and good luck in your new assignment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Grevlin.
Yes. Well, having only had the last year or so to get to know you, it has been an exciting pleasure and an exciting ride. And in that year, I don't think I really had the full understanding of all the things you had your fingerprints on, and you will be sorely missed here. These are big shoes to fill, so thank you for setting such an example for all of us. We'll be different as a city, we'll be different as a planning commission, and thank you for getting us to where we are today. We wish you all the best in your new endeavor. And you did this part-time. I can't believe that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Our city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Amy, your accomplishments here are very well documented, but I already miss your presence in our office and what a joy it was to.
You haven't even had a staff meeting yet without me, have you? I
And
mean, those are always
it's
a yuck.
already looming large. It's amazing. But just getting to interact with you only 3 days a week, getting to talk to you, getting to talk through things, getting a great snapshot of the history of this community where we've been and with your work where we're off to. To say you'll be missed truly is an understatement in the office. We're already sort of moping around saying, you know, we wish Amy was here. So that should continue for only about 5 or 6 more years, I'm sure. So, we miss you a lot, but congratulations, as it was said. It truly is MAP's game. So thank you.
Thank you. And so it falls to me to express the gratitude of the residents and the businesses of this city for all you have done for all of us. I will tell you what I've said many times. We have about 100 employees between part-time and full-time. And I don't want to embarrass you, but you are by far the brightest we have hired in my time in this city. So thank you very much. And now the microphone's yours.
Thank you. I had this thing all drafted up, so I'll just take a minute. So my husband Sam is here with me this evening. Our sons couldn't be here because they're at camp this week. Otherwise, they would be here. After my many years with the city, I've made many observations. I know I've shared some with Councilmember Kadekel and some with City Manager Baumgarten, and I'm not going to share all of them. Maybe I'll write a memoir someday, but I will share one, and that's not going to come as any surprise to you, but I'm going to say it out loud. No one in local government, from the city council to the boards and commissions to administration to staff, goes into local government for glory or for riches. They do it because they want to make the world a better place, even if it's just 2.5 square miles corner of the world. I am forever grateful to city leadership for giving me the opportunity to be a part of all of this. My work to make this world a better place continues in another place, but to City Council, the boards and commissions, administration, and staff, I give you this advice: keep up the good work. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you all for being here and for being so supportive. And now we move on to item number 2. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 2?
Motion number M5017, matter of approving appointments to various boards and commissions.
Is there a motion to approve M5017?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Terbrack, with support by Councilmember Kadekel. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've got a large slate of reappointments for the council to consider this evening. If you don't mind, I'm going to go through and read each of the names and the terms. First, the Beautification Advisory Committee has Mr. Jeremy Cohn with the term expiring of July 1st, 2020. Douglas Deeds, or Doug as we know him well, with the term expiring July 1, 2020. Board of Review is next. Mr. Tim Canty with the term expiring July 1, 2021. Ms. Shirley Hansen with the term expiring also in July 1, 2021. The Historical Committee, Ms. Danielle Ozniak.
Ozanich.
Sorry, I knew I was going to mess that up. I have a little star next to it even. With the term expiring July 1, 2020. Susan Richardson with the term expiring July 1, 2020. Glenn Rubright with the term expiring July 1, 2020. James Tong with the term expiring July 1, 2020. Next is the Library Board with Martha Shea with the term expiring July 1, 2022. Next is the Park and Recreation Advisory Board with Josephine Brewer with the term expiring July 1, 2020. John Nicolai with the term expiring July 1, 2020. Mr. Joshua Pollard with a term also expiring July 1, 2020. and Miss Betty Smith with a term also expiring July 1, 2020. Next up is the Planning Commission. 3 reappointments. Miss Michelle Bruckler, July 1, 2020. Kristen Kapelansky with a term expiring July 1, 2020. And Tim Murad with a term expiring July 1, 2020. Next is Tree Board. Sandra Sakura with a term expiring July 1, 2020. And the Zoning Board of Appeals with Ms. Sue McAlpine expiring July 1, 2020, and Mr. Mike Kirby with a term expiring July 1, 2020 as well. That is the full slate brought to the forth for the City Council for their consideration.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on any person on any of those commissions, committees? Eileen?
I would just like to thank all these people for having served and actually wanting to keep doing it. You know, I think that.
That's
so
right.
thank you very much.
Very well put. Very good. If there's no additional discussion, then indeed our gratitude to everyone who volunteers to be on those varying boards and commissions and so on. We're grateful to them, and in large part they help make our city such a wonderful place. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5017?
Kadeco?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Ravlin?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 3?
Motion number M5117, matter considering a special event permit request allowing the Ancient Order of Hibernians in America to hold its second county Oakland Irish Festival on Saturday, September 9th, 2017 from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. and Sunday, September 10th, 2017 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The nonprofit has requested that 12 Mile Road between Wakefield Road and Tyler be closed for the event. Approval is contingent upon the city's receipt of all required documents before the event date.
Is there a motion to approve M5117?
Move to approve.
Moved to approve by Councilmember Turbrack.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Stedman. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe we can officially call this now the second annual County Oakland Irish Festival. After last year's success, the Ancient Order of Hibernians is again looking to put on this great event. You have in front of you all of their application materials. There's only a liability insurance issue that is forthcoming that will be approved as referenced by the motion that will need to be approved administratively when it comes through. Mr. Goodcourage is in the audience. I don't know if he's here to speak on the matter or not, but if there are any questions, there are representatives from the AOH here tonight.
Thank you. I do see Steve Zanetti here and former Mayor Pro Tem Dale Goodcourage. Are there any?
Oh, lots of questions.
Lots of questions, so you might as well come to the microphone. Yes. Councilmember Blanchard.
First question is an easy one. Why 2 days?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
It's actually not a 2-day event. The Saturday the 9th is a full-blown Irish Festival day where 12 Mile Road will be closed. Do you mind?
No, go.
And the second request for the second partial day is for the closure of Robina North, where a beer tent will be established. That beer tent will be run by the Berkley American Legion, the SAL, for that particular event. So 12 Mile Road is only closed for 1 day. That's September the 9th.
Okay. We have a beer tent on Robina both Saturday and Sunday.
That's correct.
Have the businesses agreed to have a 40 by 60 tent in the street there, those businesses on Robina? Have we got signatures for those?
We have, go ahead.
Well, we have signatures from the businesses, and they all aware of the beer tent that we've talked to, and we have signatures on everybody up and down from Wakefield to Tyler.
But what about Robina?
Well, the Robina, the only one I've talked to is the one that owns the spice and the wool, the lady with the wool, and they were all for us putting the beer tent right there. They even said they were going to put out chairs and tables for us.
We've got
designated to have a certain amount of businesses signed to have an event in force. It doesn't specifically say that you have to have those businesses where the property is closed, because you don't get everybody where the closure is.
Understand that we have some very vocal business owners on that little section of street, so. tax exempt status. We do not have a tax exempt status for your organization. Your CPA says that, well, you previously had a 501c8, which was revoked in May of 2011, and they're going to operate with a national number, but we have not received the national number and have not been able to check it out yet. It was not in the packet that we received.
Steve, there's a letter in the packet with the.
I had just received this in the mail.
So if they want to take a look at that, that's the only one I received. I have to send that to our CPA.
Can I read this? Steve?
Yes,
Hold on.
please.
And I'll show you the certificate. Just from the Ancient Order of the Hibernian National, to whom it may concern, I certify that the Ancient Order of Hibernian in America, AOH Division 20, OA, 01, Royal Oak, Michigan, is duly constituted body operating under the jurisdiction of the National Association Order of the Hibernian in America. That is dated June 23rd, 2017. We could submit that to the.
Do they have a tax exempt number?
Pardon me?
Do they have a tax exempt number?
I'll get the one from the national. The one we submitted last year was the national one that was on file, but I will get one.
Okay.
Get it
The
over
number
to you.
shouldn't have changed.
Because I've not been able to find one.
No, the number has not changed that we submitted last year, but I'll just get a new number for you on that one. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Councilmember Gravelin.
Looking at your map, what is the adult area?
The adult area.
There's a lot of X's there. What's going on in the adult area?
Exactly. Since there will be a beer tent at Robina North, we suggested, let me back up just a second. The vendors will be vacating 12 Mile Road from Griffith West to Tyler at an earlier hour than the event stops. The music goes until 11 the evening of the 9th. So in order to create a zone of greater safety, we thought it would be a good idea to close, particularly at Robina, would be east at the corner of the movie theater, to Griffith in front of what is now known as the Berkley Commons all the way across, and that street will be open. In that open area, the beer tent will be there, it'll be open, and that space would be an allowable space for if people have a beer or a drink from the beer tent or from Patrick J's or 24 Seconds to come out and enjoy the music on the street. And that'll be partitioned by a fenced area, and the sidewalks will be open, and there will be participants from our organization to stand guard, so to speak, at the open sidewalk areas. And it'll be posted, no alcoholic beverage or no adult beverage beyond that point. It opens up the area to the businesses and opens up the opportunity for people to come out to the music, put some high top tables out there on the street, and enjoy their beverage.
Okay, then what's the history tent then?
Can you say that again?
The history tent?
That is the Irish history tent. There's a lady that brings all, like she has movies, books. She tells the history of all of the Irish. Anybody goes to any of the Irish festivals, she always has her history tent. And then we've invited the Berkley Historical Society to put their tent right next to it.
Okay, that's going to be in between your stage and the beer tent?
It'll be on the opposite side of the beer tent.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I understand Councilman Garland's concern. We need a whole lot better description of what's going where than what we have here. Because under the new regulations, federal government, we're required to write event plans for all of these things in case of an emergency. And so we needed details of where the road's going to be closed, what's going to be where, in much more detail in this, and if the road closures are going to be changed, when they're going to be taken down, and all this stuff, so we can facilitate event planning under the NIMS requirements from the federal government.
This is the same information I provided you last year when we went through this whole exempt plan. It's the same map.
No, it's not.
It is the same map.
Setting a stage, I thought this year.
Well, we need a whole lot more information because this to me is very confusing. I'll take a look at the event plans, but we're going to need a lot more information.
Very good. Anybody else want to weigh in on this?
Oh, just one question. You said that the businesses surrounding businesses were in agreement with everything? Or with the whole?
The businesses have signed for the event.
Right.
And the businesses on Robina that Steve has talked to, as long as the others, are aware of that opportunity. The businesses at Patrick J's 24 and Berkley Commons is aware of it, but there isn't a lot of sense to talk to them until we get approval for that. If you go null and void on this,
right,
then there's no sense of talking to them or establishing that fact.
I just wondered how they felt about the competition of a beer tent.
Well, I can put it to you this way. If the AOH doesn't have an opportunity to make some money, we can't bring this event back to your city.
Okay.
We paid for everything last year, and we got zero out of it dollar-wise. To be able to bring the event back, we have to have something. Bob Bronstein is very familiar with it. We've spoken to him about it.
Okay.
And that opportunity has to be there for more sourcing and more opportunities. It's plain and simple.
Okay.
I believe that our ordinance says that we have to have signatures of more than 50% of the businesses in the affected area. Did we accomplish that?
I'm sorry,
We have to have signatures of more than 50% of the businesses in the affected area. That's why we put together a list of all the businesses last year where you can go to just get signatures.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went up and down and talked to them. Another thing too is why we have the beer tent is like last year a lot of people were complaining because there was about a 3-hour wait to get in to have a beer or a drink. And if anybody's been to Irish festivals and all that, they come here to have a good time, and to wait for 3 hours to have a beer, that just didn't fly with a lot of people last year. So.
Now, from a marketing point of view for this event, it strikes me as like the two different things. We have the event on the 9th on the Saturday with the vendors and the bands and the dancers, and substantially like last year, maybe larger. But that on the Sunday then, it will be simply the beer tent and a little Irish music or something. Am I reading this right?
Yes, you are. There will be Irish entertainment. That's correct.
So if
From
I
noon
were
until 6.
if I were someone in St. Clair Shores or Wyandotte or somewhere, and I want to go to the Berkley Irish Fest, I really need to know that what happens on Saturday is different than what's going to happen on Sunday.
Correct.
Will the marketing
Yes,
of
it
the
will.
event? Okay.
The designation will be that the Irish Festival is Saturday, September the 9th, and then the Sunday event is more of an afterglow opportunity.
Okay.
And on the side of marketing, quite honestly, it doesn't pay to put up a beer tent for one day. Pay the thousands of dollars that you have to put it up for, and then come back to an empty street the next day. It won't be taken down until Monday, as it is, in the morning. And so to have the availability to offer, the businesses are starting to become aware of this, but Sunday it gives them an opportunity to open for brunch. Coco Fairfields, Patrick J's, 24, Amici's, and the businesses on Sunday that might not normally be open have an opportunity to be open on Sunday. And I'm told that many of them are, of course, Twisted Shamrock will be open, and I'm told the music stand and so on and so forth. So it's affording them an opportunity to be open an additional day for revenue and provide a brunch. We're hoping they'll do that. Go to church, come to brunch, come and have some Irish entertainment and some beers and or adult beverages. And we'll also be serving soft drinks and water as well. And yeah.
Very good. Are there any other discussion? Councilor McGrath?
I'm sorry, I know you just answered this. No, none of 12 Mile is closed on Sunday?
None of
Not
them.
even the piece in front of
Robina
the...
will remain
just Robina?
barricaded.
Okay,
That
so,
is correct.
all right, okay, thank you.
You're going to open up 12 Mile at midnight?
It'll start the opening then, yep, just like we did last year, except we started at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I think it was.
Councilor Cadeckel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can appreciate the idea of a beer tent because I know that at both Patrick J's and 24 Seconds, there were thousands of people around this and nobody was getting served and people were getting frustrated. And I'm sure that I want to make the people aware that this has all been approved by public safety also, correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Had a review. If you understand the opportunity for the Irish community to come out and present their history and present their wherewithal to the community, it was fabulous last year. And we've established that there were somewhere right around 8,000 people. I'm expecting that we would see higher numbers than that, and I would give a pretty good guess of somewhere around 12,000 people. So you want to enjoy the music and the culture of the Irish people, and you generally want to have a refreshment, and they will come in and go back and forth. If you give them the proper and appropriate service, they're going to obtain product from your community. They just don't go away. The Irish come and they stay. And they want to be entertained.
Typical example.
Over 40 years.
Oh, I've just forgotten that. So the Sunday event was really an opportunity to garner us an opportunity for the potential for some more funding. We're going to be running through the American Legion a 50-50 raffle, and that'll be the end of the evening at 6 o'clock. So they're pulling a license to do a 50-50 raffle that would go along with the licensing. We heard today from the state of Michigan. I'm not here to speak on behalf of the American Legion, but their bonding's been approved, the licenses have been approved, and they're waiting on the licensing for the 50-50 raffle that they will be running. It was an opportunity for us to ask the American Legion to participate in it. They will share in the wealth from the sale of the product. The Sons of the Legion and the Post itself, and they are sharing the profits with us as the AOH group, and we're bringing them that opportunity.
Very good. Anything else? Councilor Turbreck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was at the event as well last year. There were a number of folks. Everybody seemed to have a great time. I was excited to hear that this is hopefully going to be an annual event in the city of Berkeley. I assume that as soon as all of our T's get crossed and our I's get dotted, we will be all set and ready to go. Public safety is approved. You certainly know the workings of municipal government and what needs to be done and not done, so I trust that you have accomplished all of that, and I look forward to the event. Thank you.
Very good. Anything else? Very good. So this is all pending the liability thing comes in on as we expected.
The way we handle the insurance is the week of the event, we have the $1.5 million insurance. They cut it for X amount of days, so we're set.
There should be a letter in your packet that so states that, and I think it was dated in May.
That's right.
Right.
So, Madam Clerk included that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And the Irish Festival in Berkeley is different than most of the Irish festivals because we're actually promoting it as an Irish Fest and street fair this year. We're going to have jugglers and clowns and little skits going on throughout the city. They're going to make like a little city within the city. So that way it brings everybody. And I've talked to everybody up and down, and they're all going to put out tables and on the sidewalks and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it'll be a wonderful event. Last year's was a wonderful event, and I think this will be even larger.
As a brief note, if I could, you'll take note that there's a large band shell or stage, the same one we had last year at Robina. Will be Robina South. There will be a small stage in front of the Oddfellows Hall across from Amici's where there will be, it's a ground stage, it's very small. We'll have entertainment down there with the kiddie corner and all of those things along Clark's. And the idea between having that entertainment there and the vendors between Gardner and Griffith is to keep them safe, because the vendors are going to depart before the festivities are over. And they will enter Gardner and they will exit Griffith South, and that's the only option that they will have. And they will be leaving at the same time. We may have some other vendors that stay later down in the tent area, but that'll be the end of it.
Very good.
Thank you.
If there's no more discussion, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5117?
Stegman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Revlin?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Thank you for being here. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 4?
Resolution number R2617, matter of recognizing Second Chances Animal Rescue Incorporated as a nonprofit organization operating in the community for the purpose of obtaining charitable gaming license.
Is there a motion to approve R2617?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Cadecle with support by Councilmember Stedman. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you recall, there time to time when a charitable organization based out of the city of Berkeley, wants to hold some sort of gaming or type of charity event, they first have to come to the local governing body, Berkeley City Council, for approval of the sense that they do operate out of this community. While this particular group has an official P.O. box at the UPS store that is actually in Royal Oak, and their event itself is actually going to be happening in Ferndale. Their administrative offices are located within the city, therefore that's why it comes to this body. I've asked our city attorney to go over again why this comes before us, because it really is a quirky thing with state law here. So, Mr. Chris, if you don't mind going over that real quick.
Well, thank you, Manager. Through the chair, that's simply the way the charitable licensing statute is crafted, which provides that the City of Berkeley is the appropriate governmental entity to approve or recommend approval of the issuance of the license by the state.
Very good. Councilmember Tebrick.
Do our friends in Ferndale also have, do they also have to have any sort of decision on this, or we say, yep, good, go have it wherever you want?
They do not. As it relates to the location of the particular event, there may be, to the extent that there's some type of a request for a special event in the community, but otherwise they would not weigh in.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you just elaborate why this falls to us when their official address is Royal Oak?
So
the only place I see their address is the president lives here?
Yes,
Is that?
Mr. Mayor, as they aren't actually able to use, since they only hold a post box there, that's not their area of it's not their area of operations. It is simply the UPS store on Woodward. Their actual administrative offices are based here. We had to verify that. So the City Council's role here is recognizing the fact that they do operate out of City of Berkeley. It's not actually approving the event itself. Like I said, I do summarize this as a quirky thing because Berkeley doesn't appear in any of their official governing guidelines. But again, like I said, their administrative offices, it's actually run by one of our residents out of their home, which is allowable under ordinance.
So it's the
That's
location.
legal?
It's the location of the business office, which
Okay.
City Manager has been confirmed to be.
Yeah, we asked this question a number of times because we
Okay.
were likewise trying to figure out where our place was here, given the official Royal Oak address and all of their state 501c3 materials.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. Their IRS 501c3 is listed as the City of Berkeley as their official address. So it is, in the federal government, has recognized them as a Berkeley entity.
Very good. Any other discussion on this?
Okay.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on R2617?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Gravelin,
Yes.
Hideko,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 5?
Motion number M5217, matter of approving participation in the Thai Berkeley Teal campaign to promote awareness of ovarian cancer and its symptoms.
Is there a motion to approve M5217?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Stedman with support by Councilmember Gravelin. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is actually a returning event under a new name. It was formerly Turn Berkeley Teal.
Right.
Now it's Thai Michigan Teal, and of course each community that participates is Thai, that municipality, Teal. So September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. That is when you'll see the actual town turned teal. And you'll basically the city's role in this is that we allow this organization to tie teal ribbons around the city's various light poles and phone poles and anywhere that this organization feels they can bring up some awareness to the terrible disease of ovarian cancer. So this coincides with the National Awareness Month, and so we'll all sort of keep it on the forefront of our minds come September.
Thank you. Any discussion, Councilmember Blanchard?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to make a comment that we've done this before, and they have been very good about getting things up in a timely manner, and more importantly, getting things down when they say they're going to do in a timely manner. So I was quite impressed with their organization, and they seem to be doing a real good job of not leaving things lingering in the city.
Very good, thank you. Anybody else? Councilmember Gravelin?
If this brings awareness, it helps one woman, and amen. Tie this town up. Thank you.
Exactly right. Very good. Then, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5217?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravelin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 6?
Motion number M5317, matter of authorizing the purchase of temporary traffic control devices at a cost not to exceed $19,698 from Howard T. Moriarty Company, 143 Broadway, Toledo, Ohio 43604. Funds for this expenditure will come from account 614-915-758-000.
Is there a motion to approve M5317?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard with support by Councilmember Turbrack. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purchase of these temporary traffic control devices will actually give us a savings over a long enough timeline. As you recall from our budget hearings, this is a budgeted item. The intent here is that with each year, as we host Cruise Fest and the various events here, we actually rent these items. Now the DPW is looking at cleaning up their yard a little bit, expanding some of their storage areas, and with that, this allows us the opportunity to actually buy these, keep them here in Berkley, and utilize them for whatever activity that comes up. So we have the opportunity to stop renting, and like I said, at the cost that comes before you, we actually have the opportunity to save over the next after a few years by avoiding rental costs. So Teresa and Sean have been instrumental in bringing this forward to you.
Yep. So this is one of those, good evening, this is one of those items that we had some interdepartment working together. It's a Dream Cruise item which comes out of our budget, but obviously expertise on these, I adhere to our Public Works foreman, Sean Young. So he was instrumental in giving me the specifications for what we were looking for. We then did place the bid on Mitten. Unfortunately, we didn't get any bids from Mitten. With the city manager's permission, we then asked a number of companies for quotes. Initially, we received 5 quotes. A 6th one came in a day after, which was included in your packet, and we are awarding it to the lowest bidder. They have assured us that we will have these within 2 to 3 weeks. It did come in under what we had budgeted for the item. We did ask the question, you know, why didn't you bid on this on Mitten? And the general answer that we got was that Mitten has recently redone their website. They have a whole new system. This was the first time I used this system with that, and all the correct things were plugged in, but apparently it's very difficult for vendors to navigate right now. They're still kind of getting used to it. So that was the answer that we had received. I think over time we'll get there, but we do feel confident with the quotes. They were all within reason. The costs were close enough together, and we feel confident that, again, like the city manager said, this will save us quite a bit of money over time.
Any discussion, questions on this item?
Just
Councilor
a
Blanchard.
quick question. These are just fixed barricades. We don't have any lighted arrow boards in this or anything, do we?
No, it's the
Okay.
fixed barricades and then the cones with their bases.
Okay, thank you.
It seems to make all the sense in the world to not be renting things that you can buy over time. You accumulate the advantage. Very good. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5317?
Gravelin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Blanchard.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 7?
Motion number M5417, matter of authorizing the mayor to execute a contract between SMART and the City of Berkley for fiscal year 2018 municipal credit and community credit funds in order to provide public transportation services for the period of July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018.
Is there a motion to approve M5417?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Turbrack.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is part of an annual process that we go through. These are these credits, both the municipal and the service and the other credits, are actually awarded on a annual basis each year. So we have to go through this process each year. Teresa makes very good use of them. And if you want to talk a little bit about the programs that they support, Teresa?
Sure. So I'm always surprised. A lot of people know that we provide transportation, but there's a number of people who still don't know. So it's always a good opportunity every year when this comes back up, and then in January when we have the specialized services, to let people know that we do offer transportation for seniors or those disabled. Seniors we consider 50 and up. Sorry if anybody is offended by that. And we do ask that you call within 48 hours in advance for a call, but we often get people that, you know, say, I didn't know, I need a ride. I had a woman call today and I was able to get her on for the afternoon. She had to go to the bank. Or we take you to your doctor's office, or we take you, you know, anywhere within our boundaries, which are 8 Mile to 16 Mile and Lasser to DeQuinder. We ask for a donation of $3 one way or $5 there and back. Again, it is, you know, donation, so we'll have people who will pay for the month because they constantly drive with us or ride with us, or people that pay daily. And I think it's just a wonderful service. Not every community provides it. It's something that a lot of our seniors depend on. And then we also use our vehicles for our senior trips. And, you know, we have a senior trip. We have 20 seniors going to Belle Isle on Thursday, and they're going to explore Belle Isle. Next week, they're going out to lunch and things like that. So I think it's just a wonderful service, and it's something that's utilized often. We take transportation calls between 9 and 11:30 Monday through Friday. I'll be the one taking them all week this week, so if you call, I'd be happy to schedule your appointment, and we appreciate all that SMART does to allow us to continue this program.
Thank you. And Councilor Blanchard. Oh, Councilor Cadeckel.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. McCarlton. Real quick, I know you said between the hours of 9 and 11:30 or 9:30, 11.
That's when we take the calls.
Right. What are the hours of operation if someone has to go to an early appointment?
We typically say 8 to 4, but we will sometimes wait for a pickup until 4:35. So it just kind of depends on if we know. We give all of our people our van phone number. We have a phone in the van, and when they're ready to be picked up. So if it's going to be a little past 4, then that's okay. But typically 8 to 4.
Thank you.
Good. Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. If anybody wants to see how this works, you should go to the senior luncheon at Christmas time. There's buses coming in and seniors getting off and buses going out and coming back, and they move a lot of people and do a wonderful job getting these people to that senior luncheon and stuff. So it's great, and this is a wonderful program the city does. You should be very proud of it.
Yes, indeed. It is a wonderful program. If there is no additional discussion, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5417?
Cadeckel?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. Thank you, Teresa. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 8?
Motion number M5517, matter of approving a contract extension to SJR Pavement Repair Incorporated of Warren, Michigan, an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the 2017 to 2018 pavement maintenance program.
Is there a motion to approve M5517?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Gravelin. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This is the proposed contract extension for the vendor that we had in place over the last budget year. The budget year, of course, concluded as of June 30th, so it's time now to consider prolonging our relationship with SJR. We feel as though, Derek will speak on this, but they've done a very good job in covering the scope of work that we put forth to them in the last budget year, and we found their company as a whole to be very responsive. I know, Derek, are you going to tell the story about grabbing the president and taking them for a ride?
That's right.
Okay, so Derek has got a great story as exactly how the working relationship went with this company and how much we've enjoyed working with them.
Good evening, and this is an extension of an existing contract. So back last September of 2016, we went out to bid, had 2 bidders for the spray patch work, which is something we've been doing the last 4 years, basically patching up potholes, alligatored areas. It's a very versatile product. Concrete, asphalt, we can put it on about anything. So we've been spending about $100,000 a year on spray patch. So there's really 2 companies that do this work in our area, and we've worked with both of them in my time. So they're both very good companies. It really comes down to price for us, and they're willing to hold their price an additional year. So we're excited to continue that relationship one additional year, and the next year we'll go out to public bid again. I'm happy to answer any questions. We generally go through 2 phases with spray patch. Spring and fall every year we do some work. And so we're looking to do some work again before the winter season to seal up some roads, and then we'll be back at it again after winter to do some touch-ups. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the specific product, or if there's any questions or concerns as well.
Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you. Just another comment. This is probably one of the best things we've done in the last 4 years, was to go from cold patch to this spray patch, because it is really holding up well. I've inspected a lot of areas that were patched 3 or 4 years ago, and they're still holding up good. So it was a great decision.
Yeah, that is the beauty of the product, is its longevity, its durability over cold patch. It does stay in the hole longer because it tends to, you seal that whole area, so you're not allowing the water to infiltrate the road surface and get down below where it can do its damage. So we've had great success with it. It is a delicate balancing act between ride quality and durability, and so we've worked with SJR on that as well to make sure that we keep that balance in line. You want to get enough material down that it lasts, but you don't want to negatively impact the ride quality as well, and it's a little bit of a balancing act. So we stay on top of them to make sure that we work that balance well.
Very good. Any additional discussion, questions on this item? It turns out to be a good product, and it seemed to have served us well so far.
It has.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5517?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 9?
Resolution number R2717, matter of approving MCI Metro Access Transmission Services Corp. Doing business as Verizon Access Transmission Services for a bilateral permit under the Metro Act.
Is there a motion to approve R2717?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilmember Stedman.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Metro Act provides for a very limited amount of local government oversight over these types of permits. What you have before you is a full application that was put forth by the company doing business as Verizon. I've asked actually our legal expert and city attorney to weigh in on what options the city actually has available to them. And then I know Councilmember Blanchard has some very specific questions as well. Is somebody here representing the applicant? No. So the applicant is not available for this permit, I wanted to note. So,
Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Very briefly, the overview of the Metro Act provides that telecommunication providers can utilize this state-approved format for a permit to utilize for telecommunication facilities, which is a narrow defined term under the Act, public rights-of-ways. And the application material includes maps associated with where they would propose to place their telecommunication facilities, principally lines, and provide insurance requirements, bonding requirements to make sure that the public rights-of-ways are improved and replaced into a condition prior to their placement of such telecommunication facilities. The permit would authorize those telecommunication providers to place their facilities both on lines, public lines, and underground. The way the Act is provided, there is a relatively short period of time for a municipality to consider the application to determine if it is complete, principally, and then to decide whether to approve or deny the permit. And you know, the Act does provide that the municipality shall approve the permit absent a concern regarding the public health, safety, and welfare that the municipality deems to be present in the application, a very rare circumstance, and that it further provides that a municipality shall not unreasonably withhold the grant of that permit. So that's a general overview with respect to the Metro Act. One point that might be important to bring up is some providers have attempted to, or providers of wireless communication facilities have attempted to argue that the Metro Act applies to that, and that is not correct. This is regarding that's expressly exempted from the Metro Act, so it's not wireless facilities.
Very good. Any questions? Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Metro Act, as I understand it, allows them to string wire, cable in the poles or underground, but not to construct facilities such as cell towers, generators, that sort of thing. Is that correct?
Well, there's a defined term to it. I mean, the generator word, I think, is where I might pause, but
it's in the Act.
The definition of telecommunication facilities means equipment or personal property such as copper and fiber cable lines, wires, switches, conduits, pipes, and sheaths which are used or can generate, receive, transmit, carry, amplify, or provide telecommunications services. And then it does not include antennas, supporting structures for antennas, equipment, shelters, or houses, or any ancillary equipment. So those would be carved out from the definition of telecommunication facilities.
And what Dan says is what we've heard before. It's absolutely correct, but there have been some municipalities where these companies have come in, bulled their way in, and put up towers under what they call the provisions of the Metro Act, and technically because the city didn't respond in the 45 days, they got away with it in some cases. There are some other suits going on now. This is part of the DAS, the Distributed Antenna System, and what some of these companies want to put in, especially Sprint, are 120-foot towers with a 6-foot base, and they want to put them in the public right-of-way. And we want to make sure that we have the authority to specify that where they go, if they do build them, they can't put them down 12 Mile Road and down Coolidge, because they have done, I've got pictures of them that they've done in some cities, put 120-foot towers right along the sidewalk. So
I would just say through the chair that towers would be outside the framework of the permit that this particular applicant appears to be seeking, and appropriately so. It would be objection. It would be an appropriate basis for an objection by the city, by the municipality, in the event that they change course and seek to place a tower in place of the cable.
The thing that's a bit confusing is the public right-of-way to install fiber optic facilities in the first paragraph, and then down in the bottom, farther down, they say that there's no intent to install wireless facilities. And I assume that's just a clarification because wireless facilities are exempted. So, but we don't have much choice on this. We have to approve it. We just want to make sure that we are positioned ourselves so that we don't get stuck with some of the other things that some of the other cities have come to by being aware of all this.
Very good. Anybody else? Councilor Tarbride.
I just think that's an important point to bring up. We really don't have a whole lot of choice here.
Correct.
And the act is written in such a way that it essentially says that we can't vote no on it unless we feel like it's going to impact public health in some way,
Yeah.
which is silly. Again, this is an act, a law that's written, taking all the authority away from the municipal government so that these telecommunications companies can essentially just come in and do what they want. And we really have no recourse right now. It's disappointing.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, that is, I want to draw the distinction again that is specific to the fiber or the cabling of it. As Councilmember Blanchard and the attorney pointed out, we do have a lot more leeway on some of the above ground structure and facility installations. But as Councilmember Turbrack said, the state, through whomever they were listening to at the time, wrote these in order to seemingly really minimize the local government's role in this, and it's a troubling trend when it comes to these types of laws.
Okay. Well, the bad news is there's a whole lot more of this coming.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of bills running through Lansing right now restricting local municipalities from doing much of anything. That is a pitiful situation. So I think we're ready to vote on this.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
Very good. Then, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on R 2717.
Turbrack,
No.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Gravlin,
Yes.
Kadeco,
Yes.
Steckman,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Very good, then. Ms. Boucher, please read item number 10.
Motion number M5617, matter of approving the purchase of a new street name signs at a total cost of $17,182.04 from Vulcan Signs of Foley, Alabama. Funds for this expenditure will come from account numbers 202-475-758-000 and 203-475-758-000.
Is there a motion to approve M5617?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Turbrack with support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, this is a budget item coming to you. Derek and his staff have been working to begin the process of replacing these street signs that help us all navigate within our neighborhoods. They put this out through their normal means and actually found a company out of Alabama who offered the best price, despite the fact that they're out of state. So, Derek, you want to speak a little bit more on this item?
Sure, thank you. So it was a budgeted line item for us to replace the street name signs. As many of you know, the service life of these signs out in the field, I think they've reached their service life in many cases. I'm not sure how old they are, but they're decades old. The reflectivity is non-existent. So we want to bring the new street name signs up to current standards, which is reflectivity, which is size, which is font, these sort of things. There's guidelines in place for that. So we're following those guidelines for these new street name signs. So we put a bid together. We put it out on Mitten and received several bids, very competitive bids. And the company out of Alabama, Vulcan Signs, was the low bidder. And the primary reason for that is they're the largest manufacturer of the aluminum sign template, the backing, if you will, the support of these signs in the entire country. So they produce those sign blanks probably at the lowest cost possible. So that's probably why they were the low bid in this case. So we're looking forward to purchasing these signs in a bulk sort of order. This would be for full replacement of all the street name signs in the city of Berkeley, as well as to have some extras on hand in case of vandalism or other issues that may come up as well. So we're going to have our staff install these signs. It will be as time allows, so I do expect it to take several months before we can canvass the entire city, but we will be putting them up just as soon as we get them. So we're very much looking forward to this. I think it will be a vast improvement over our existing street name signs. Again, reflectivity is vastly improved, as well as the size, so they'll be much easier to read as well. Happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Any questions from the council? Councilmember Kadeco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Schuler. I have a couple questions. First of all, if they're reflecting, why can't you do it all night? No, I'm just kidding. What is the timeline if we approve this, to get the signs?
It's approximately 45 days is what they've told us. I believe in the contract it was 45 to 60, so a month and a half, 2 months for them to manufacture all the signs to our specifications and deliver them to us.
And the other question is, what happens to the used signs? Can people get them, like if they want their own street?
Well, that's a great question, and that's something I think Matt will work with you to see what we want to do. Obviously, this is going to take some time, so we'll gather all the old street name signs, organize them, and keep them at Public Works at such time where we want to make a decision on, if we want to make them available to residents for purchase or otherwise. We're happy to facilitate that. Obviously, some of them, based on their condition, we probably wouldn't sell, but we're going to have, several hundred signs to have, and we've got, some spares actually in our sign shop now that would go along with those. So we're willing to work with, the city manager and figure out a game plan for what to do with those signs.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is this a federal mandate to change these signs, or what's?
At one time, it was, Councilman. There were very strict requirements on changing the street name signs. They have since then sort of pulled back a little bit. You'll notice different types of signs in communities, even in this area as well. So they've sort of lessened it, but they still have provided us some guidelines for sizing reflectivity that we are meeting.
So it's kind of like an unfunded mandate from the federal government.
It is. It's another one of those.
Very good. Councilmember Gravlin.
These are some substantial cities listed for references. Did we check with them? Have they had any problem with their durability or?
I did. I called every one of the references provided, and each one of them came back and said that Vulcan was a reputable company and they met all their standards. I did actually also, in my memo, that's actually a picture of the Griffith sign that I have a template that was sent to me by Vulcan Signs so that I could physically touch it, feel it, see what it looks like. And they sent me that, and everything looks good. It meets our standards and our specifications as well. So I'm happy to move forward at this time.
Councilmember
Stedman.
Stedman. That's right. Just wake up here.
I just wanted to point out that the two bidders from Michigan, one was about $7,000 higher and one was $14,000. So that's quite a significant amount of money.
It was. And very competitive bids, and which is great. I mean, this is the benefit of the Mitten resource as well, that it's far-reaching, and this is the largest manufacturer of those aluminum blanks in the country, so they had the lowest bid.
Quick question, will they be the same color as they are now?
It is the blue, yep, white lettering on blue, so, but reflectivity is going to be vastly improved. The size of it will be improved as well. They are larger signs now, so our hope is that visibility will be increased dramatically with these new signs.
That's good. Councilmember Turbrack.
Gardner and Oakshire. That's my order.
Add it to the list, yes.
Very good. Anything else? Very good. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll then on M5617?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravlin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 11?
Resolution number R2817, matter of authorizing additional service credit purchase for Richard Rozowski under the Municipal Employees Retirement System.
Is there a motion to approve R2817?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Gravlin, with support by Councilmember Stedman. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under our retirement system, MERS, it is allowed for an employee to purchase service years, and that is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of if somebody works for 20 years and they need some additional years to retirement, they can actually purchase the credit for as if they'd worked those years. MERS sets the amount, and then MERS sets the standards for allowing them to do so. One of the standards is the requirement of approval from the local governing body, which is why this comes before you today. It seems odd for a personnel matter to come before council, but again, like I said, these are rules set by MERS. So both the ASME contract as well as MERS allows for this. The applicant has requested it, and it comes before this body to approve it if they see fit. Our finance director is here. I know if there is concern about the financial impacts of such a decision, you've got the best and brightest here to answer those questions.
Very good. Are there questions for the brightest and best?
What does that mean to the city's finances?
Is there a financial impact?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yes. So there's kind of two different ways when you purchase. So as the city manager stated, you can purchase in order to retire early, but there's also that option where you can purchase to increase the number of years as well as part of your multiplier. So in this case, I'm not sure what way this employee will go, but yes, there is a financial impact. So he is also an employee that does not pay 4% towards the funding as well. So employees hired prior to 2004 do not pay a percentage towards the MERS plan. Employees hired after 2004 do. So in this case, there is an impact. I don't know. It's hard to calculate what that impact is. We might see it next year as part of our actuary evaluation. We already have our current actuary evaluation right now. We just received that I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, but it's kind of hard to factor in what this one employees will do. Again, when you think about it in terms of if many employees opt into this, yes. At the same time, this employee is paying towards that cost, so the actuaries have computed what the cost is to him. So it's not the city's money per se funding this portion. They have calculated, again, using mortality tables and provided an estimate to what that cost would be. Again, if he lives past what they think he's going to, yes, there may be more of a financial impact, but it's one of those, it's hard to say. There is a financial impact, but to sit here and say dollar value, I can't tell you what that is.
This says here that estimated cost of this service credit purchase $41,658. Is that what the individual is paying
It
for
is.
this credit?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Any, Councilmember Gravelin?
And that's being paid back to MERS. We're not seeing that.
It
in
is. It is
city
being
coffers.
paid directly to MERS and is going from 457 into a MERS plan. We don't touch it. It's direct transfer.
It's essentially their calculation.
It is their calculation, yes, using mortality tables. Yes, again, we submit the request to MERS and they come back and tell us what the cost of it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good. Anything else on this matter? Are we ready?
I'm at a loss. I'm an engineer. I don't This is not my area of expertise.
So the mortality table that we're talking about is based on the annuity that is going to pay out in retirement, this pension. So
Right.
if the employee just were to outlive what their mortality table said, then we would just make up the cost. Is it us or is it MERS that has to
So it
make up
would
the
be
cost of that
MERS, but
annuity?
obviously the city is funding it. So again, as the employees live longer than the mortality table. So for example, I want to say a male used to be 80 years old, I think, or it might have even been a little bit less than that used to be. I don't know what it is anymore, but so yeah, if that person outlives what their estimate based on today, what the
It's
mortality
guaranteed
tables
income on
is.
this thing,
Right. So MERS just changed. I don't know if you remember about a year ago that MERS changed their mortality table estimates. And so they've put everybody living longer, which increased our liability. So again, in 10 years, are people going to be living longer? If they are, then this person potentially got a great deal if they live to be 102. 'Cause again, they're probably factoring in that they're only living to be 80. So that's where I say it could have a financial impact on us eventually. I don't have a good estimate right now.
Okay, very good. Everybody understand this sufficiently well to cast a vote? Very good. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on R 2817?
Gravelin?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 12?
Motion number M5717, matter of amending the City of Berkeley's fee schedule for the public library to reduce the credit card payment fee from 5% to 2.75% and eliminate the scanner use fees.
Is there a motion to approve M5717?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Stedman with support by Councilmember Blanchard. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It will come as a surprise to no one that the library is doing great work on continually improving their customer experience. One of the ways that they've managed to do that now is actually lowering the fee for utilizing credit cards through exploring other vendors. They've settled on Square, and Square is able to offer a 2.7% fee as opposed to the 5% that was formerly being assessed. So Mr. Church is here to answer any questions on that, and as well as on the library scanning fees as well.
Great, thank you. Credit card acceptance has been very well received for the last year or so that we've been doing it. Square came up as an option for lower fees and fewer and really no additional fees. So there's the one-time purchase of the little device that plugs into a tablet that we already have, and then we'll just be paying the 2.75%, and we'll pass that charge on to patrons as well. So happy to see the option to lower that. We'll also be able to accept American Express credit card, and that's a plus for some people that use that. I'm also proposing eliminating the scanner use fee. We had planned when we got the scanner about 3 years ago to go into an annual service contract for that. Ended up not pursuing that, and the scanner is useful, it's helpful, but we're not paying anything to operate it, so we don't really need to pass on that fee to patrons any longer.
Good. Councilmember Cadeckel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Church, you do an unbelievable job with the library, and I can't
Thank
thank
you.
you enough. And just another example, cutting it in almost in half, the fee. How long will that fee last? Is it going to increase over the time, or?
There's no contract to enter into this. Square is a very reputable company, so I would expect that we can see 2.75 for a while, but I certainly can't say with all certainty.
Thank you again for your work.
Thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Stedman.
So since you didn't buy the service contract for the scanner, who fixes it?
Right now, Stan,
Okay.
the IT coordinator. It's actually run by just a PC, so we do regular updates to the PC itself. If you'll remember, the previous director, Celia Morse, won this unit at a conference that she attended shortly before she retired. It's a higher end unit than what we would probably purchase on our own, so we're just kind of enjoying it for as long as we have it, and then we'd probably just get kind of a more standard flatbed scanner in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5717?
Cadeckel?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 13?
Motion number M5817, matter of authorizing the purchase of two 2018 Ford utility vehicles for patrol assignment for a cost not to exceed $55,340, $27,670 each. Funds for this expenditure will come from account 101-310-985-000.
Is there a motion to approve M5817?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Blanchard with support by Councilmember Turbrack. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With the new budget year comes a couple of requests for updating our capital. One of those capital items, or two of those capital items, is of course our police vehicles, as we try to keep that fleet as new as possible, so that it's able to respond to any emergency that that's called upon us. Part of moving through the process of purchasing these new police vehicles is, of course, cooperating and looking around for the best bids. We actually go with Macomb County's bidding program on this one, as opposed to the usual Macomb County. But it is two vehicles that will be replaced with brand new police pursuit vehicles, so they're the Ford utilities. So it's again consistent with our existing fleet, and that's one of the things that keeps costs low as well. Chief North is here about it for any specific questions if you have any, but we of course recommend approval of this item.
Any discussions, questions on this item? Councilmember Cadet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief, real quick, timeline once we get them and then have them equipped and everything, how long would that take?
If they're approved tonight, we could possibly see delivery in October. And after that, it's a matter of scheduling with the company that turns our cars over for us.
And that happens pretty quick after, doesn't it?
It depends on the scheduling with them.
Thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Blanchard.
This is the same, we've been getting the same specifications we've been getting in the other vehicles?
Yes, they are.
Okay. They've been providing very good service to us, so.
Correct.
They're Fords, so I hate to say that, but.
Very good. Then, if there's no additional discussion on this item, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M5817?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
Cadeckel?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. Now, Ms. Boucher, please read item number 14.
Motion number M5917, matter of authorizing the purchase of 4 mobile data computers for patrol vehicles for a total amount of $24,600 from account 101-310-985-001.
Is there a motion to approve M5917?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Blanchard with support by Councilmember Cadeckel. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you recall, just a few months ago, we authorized the purchase of 4 mobile data computers. This is the next 4 that cover all of our vehicles now. So again, planned purchase, part of keeping our equipment ready and updated to the latest specs. I think I would like to commend the Public Safety Department on the way that they stage these purchases. So just as they're wrapping up the installation from the 4 previous units, now they're getting ready to request of this body the purchase of the next 4. So from a timing standpoint, they've done this in a very smart fashion. And again, it's commendable to our officers who coordinate these.
Thank you. Any additional questions, discussion on this? This is a repeat of what we've done some months back, so.
We definitely need these.
Absolutely. Ms. Bowers, would you please call the roll on M5917?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravlin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Bowers, would you please read item number 15?
Resolution number R2917, matter of authorizing acceptance of the State of Michigan, Michigan Department of State, and Oakland County, City of Berkeley Help America Vote Act HAVA grant agreement.
Is there a motion to approve R2917?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Councilmember Bradley.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Blanchard. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our city clerk, again, keep the accolades going, has done a great job on locating ways to find additional monies for the upgrade of our voting machines to make sure that we've got the best election results and predictability and dependability possible. This is just one more way in which she has done a phenomenal job with the Help America Vote Act. And Mr. Mayor, with your permission, any questions can be deferred to the city clerk.
Very good. City clerk, tell us all about it.
Well, we are getting our election equipment from Hart. This is a new vendor. The reason why Oakland County chose them is the equipment is lighter, it's more compact, and the software is more advanced than the other vendors, I believe. And so we are excited to get our new equipment. We're looking to showcase it at the next chat with Matt, with the city manager. So we look forward to seeing the residents, voters, and everyone come out and test the equipment with us. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Boucher? Councilmember Blanchard.
Just a comment, Your Honor, on the date in the resolution. Between March 1st, 2017 and April 30th, 2017, shouldn't that be 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That will be corrected when it's...
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Then, Ms. Bowers, would you please call the roll on R2917?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravlin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 16?
Motion number M6017, matter of authorizing membership in the Michigan Coalition to Protect Public Rights of Way, PROTEC, for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017, for annual dues of $1,871.25. Funds for this expenditure will come from account 101-284-803-000.
Is there a motion to approve M6017?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Blanchard. Support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Baumgarten.
I guess we all want it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not unrelated to a previous budget item, as we lamented the state's slow removal of local governing authority, a consortium of now over 60 Michigan communities has sort of come together to fight this very trend. That group is called PROTEC. Again, it's 60 different communities. They started in 1996, and if you recall back when cellular was really starting to grow, really becoming just a household commodity. Everyone was beginning to get some sort of cellular device, whether we're going all the way back to the pagers, the car phones, the bag phones. They saw the writing on the wall. They sort of understood what was coming down the pike as far as the impacts on local communities. We've looked at this group extensively. We've reviewed their successes in fighting back against things like the installation of 120-foot towers and right-of-ways. They look forward to the distributed antenna systems and see where the municipalities are going to be in a difficult position in defending those. They understand the way that the state legislature has been legislating for telecommunications companies and not necessarily for local communities. I think adding our voice to the support of these over 60 communities is the time is right, especially as we see more and more Metro Act applications coming before us now. So for what it's worth, administration strongly recommends that we join this group and sort of, if I can be overly dramatic, join the fight.
Very good. Any discussion on joining the fight?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Honorable Blanchard.
Just to let people know, ProTech is a very active organization, but it has no paid staff whatsoever. All of the people that work on it are volunteers, and they're donated by the MML or the different cities working together to solve this problem. And as we've seen tonight in my discussion and the things I've written, to keep us from having a nightmare like we could have, and some of the cities already have, I think it's very prudent that we become members of ProTech and let them help us fight these battles. There is, as you know, 45 days to the time a vendor comes to us, and we got to make sure that we answer that and take the proper steps. So we need people that we can bring in to help us. So
it makes sense. Any additional discussion on this? This one is a pretty open and shut.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you all. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M6017?
Graveline?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. Now we come to the communications portion of tonight's meeting, and Councilmember Kadeco is up first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What a great city we live in. This past weekend was amazing. You couldn't even walk up and down the streets of 12 Mile Road with the art and about and the musicians playing. It was just an amazing sight. I was sitting in Amici's just watching people go, pull their twins in the wagon. I mean, whatever the case be, it was really great. And then to follow up with the chalk artist and Mr. Zinn and the work he did, but not only him, but the amateurs and the people that came out, and there are still people that are going back and forth today to look at the chalk art and to drive through the city and see the murals. It's amazing. I want to thank all the volunteers. I think tonight it showed what teamwork is all about. Volunteers coming out to support Amy, volunteers re-upping to be in their positions, and I can't thank them enough. I started out as a volunteer, and I think it's just a great thing that we have such a great community with great residents. David Mills had called me about the piano a couple weeks ago and was trying to figure out a way to get it here, and I can't thank him enough. Councilmember Mills is always thinking of how he can help the city. It was his own donation of the $25 where he rented the truck to go get the piano, and I can't thank the Czech family enough, and eventually Evola will be here, and it'll be music at the senior center, which will be great. Many of you may have heard of him or may not have, but Dr. Maury Dubin had been a member of this community for many, many years. He had his office on 12 Mile Road, and Dr. Dubin passed away at the age of 95 on Saturday morning. But what's even more amazing, he was a charter member of the Berkley Rotary Club, and just a couple years ago, he was there at the pancake breakfast, flipping pancakes, and he's definitely going to be missed. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Graveline.
I too wanted to commend everyone, especially the Chamber for the new Chalk Fest. The Street Art Fest was a wild success for the first time out. It was a true pleasure to watch Mr. Zinn at work and to have him explain to the kids how everybody's an artist. Don't be afraid. It was very exciting. The Art and About was very successful. It was a great artistic week out there, or weekend for Berkeley. So thank you to everyone who made that happen, and to the few remaining volunteers who were reappointed to their positions tonight. Thank you again for all you do, and congratulations to everyone. And thank you again for all that that you do for the Planning Commission. It was nice to see we do have one new member. She has been there for a couple of months, but it's good to have a new member on that board, as well as there will be a new face in the director chair leading that group. So it's good to keep that board moving forward. On that note, the next Planning Commission meeting is Tuesday, the 25th at 7:30 in this room. And that's all I have to say because of the glare next to me, so I will be happy to pass the mic.
Well, that's right. We move now to Councilmember Turbrack, and I hope the cameras can move in a little bit closer on tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to thank everybody who played a part this weekend. My kids had a wonderful time. It was great. They got to draw on the ground, and we didn't have to yell at them to clean it up after or where they can or can't draw. It was fantastic. Just another great event that's been brought to the city that folks in the city have worked very, very diligently to pull off, and it was tremendous. Speaking of other events, Summerfest is still ongoing, and this Thursday from 6 to 8, we have the JC Jamboree at JC Park. There's going to be bouncers, tie-dye, face painting, paparazzi are out here, Kona ice, music. Don't forget to bring socks for the bouncers. I know that's an issue. People sometimes wear sandals, want to have some socks for the bouncers. A limited number of shirts will be provided for tie-dye purposes. And since Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Baker's not here, I am going to take his time today to explain to you why I'm wearing this phenomenal jacket. I'm actually going to stand up. I have to make sure that this is caught on camera. This is official Polish Prince Invitational. It's a very prestigious jacket. I didn't realize so many people want to take pictures. I've actually been waiting. I've been waiting an entire year to wear this because I was hoping to find a meeting where there would not be maybe so many folks attending. Just so happened that things went well today, and I really am running out of time. So the Polish Prince is a golf outing. This year will be the 31st year of the Polish Prince golf outing, started by a number of residents from Berkley. It's about 100 guys that go every year to Jackson. A large number of them have gone the entire time. I know my father has been going. He may have missed one or two, but he's made most of those outings. Every year, they choose a winner of this lovely, delightful jacket. You are not chosen based on being the best golfer or being the worst golfer, although you could be. I am neither of those things. I'm right in the middle. It's awarded to somebody who espouses the virtues of the Polish Prince golf outing, and you can take that however you may. I will tell you that a few years ago, my father won, and when I was awarded this jacket last year, it was probably the most proud he's ever been of me. And I'm not, I don't, and I'm not exaggerating either. He could not have been more proud. So part of the deal is you get the jacket, you have to wear it in public a couple times a year where other Polish Prince members were. And some of you may remember I wore this to Berkeley days when I was in the dunk tank because a number of folks were there and saw me. But when they gave me the jacket, I was also told that I had to wear it at a council meeting on television. So the outing is coming up in August. I'm not sure what's going on the August agenda, but I felt like today would be a good time to wear it. So I am wearing it. Everybody has seen it's on camera. I have plenty of evidence. It is truly an honor to wear this jacket, and you have to add something every year, which is why it has so many weird things on it. And while I have not officially decided what I am adding without spoiling the surprise too much, it will be something from the city of Berkeley. So don't worry, I'll let you all know. I'm sure you're very eagerly awaiting what it is going to be. Initially, it was just going to be like a patch of my face, but I've decided against that. So, thank you.
Thank you. No likelihood that the green jacket at the Masters will change to something like this. We hope. Moving on next to Councilor Stedman.
Okie doke. First of all, the Beautification Committee has a couple of things planned. They're going to plant salvia flowers at the two smaller Welcome to Berkeley signs and to make it tie into the same flowers used at the bus stop. And they're doing that on July 25th. Future projects for the summer include beautifying that bare southwest corner of public safety right over there, and working on adding shady plants at the Oxford Park on Harvard by the tennis courts. And then they're going to be recognizing landscapes of the year to top 5 residential homes in August. The library still has many, many things coming up. Build a Better Micro World, Tuesday, July 25th. Berkley Reading Society, Make Toys for Animals, both on the 20th of July. Henna Art Workshop, July 26th. Tie-Dye Like the Pros, August 1st. Rock Painting, July 24th. Baffling Bill the Magician, Thursday, July 27th. And that's always a good one. They have him just about every year. Evening Story Times for Families, another one on July 20th and July 31st. So that's all on the website. You can print that out, and make sure you make a reservation early because they do fill up very fast. And if you haven't had a chance to, if you haven't seen them yet, look around the city at the various murals that were painted on the walls of some of the businesses. They're phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful idea that the DDA, it wasn't the DDA yet. So thank you, everybody that participated in that.
Thank you. Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't want to keep beating on this, but I want a little bit about the Street Art Fest. That was a phenomenal job by the Chamber and the DDA. There was a lot of volunteers. I want to thank all the volunteers that worked on that. We had the chalk art portion and then the murals. I think there was 9 new murals went up in the city of Berkeley. Some very nice stuff. So thanks to all the people that worked on that. And basically that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick updates for you. I'm going to sound very anti-state of Michigan legislature tonight, but it's certainly not my intent. But
it is mine.
City of Berkeley, along with Huntington Woods, Pleasant Ridge, Oak Park, Hazel Park, and Ferndale, have all jointly come together to invite the Save MI City, which is a campaign through the Michigan Municipal League to bring awareness and hopefully a vast change to the state of Michigan's municipal finance system. There is a wide consensus that this system is broken. Mr. Mayor, as you have spoken at length about the disinvestment that the state has made in its municipalities, going back really close to 15 years now, probably even more if you look historically. But saying all that to say, all these communities have come together to try to put together 3 different events. It'll be August 9th and 10th. Both of these will be hosted at the Ford Education Center at the zoo. And then Tuesday, August 15th at Rust Belt Market in Ferndale. So we're trying to make sure we have a large venue as possible. Tony Mangini, it's not the last name I've butchered this evening, I know, but he'll be here. He is really the state's leading voice in this charge, and I'm happy that Berkeley has stepped up and has become a part of this, and I do thank this council for their regional approach to handling things like this, and so things like this make that really evident. So thank you for pushing us towards being a part of things like that. These flyers will be going out soon, and you'll see a lot of press on this between now and the first dates in August. So thank you. That's the only item.
Mr. Attorney.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Well, thank you. Our Mayor Pro Tem is out of town, and he sent me an email to read. I have reviewed it already. There are no surprises. There is a quote. Greetings, everyone. I write to you from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I am leading a 2-day workshop on innovation with colleagues from across the country. Like Berkeley, Chattanooga is an active downtown, but their art scene doesn't hold a train's whistle to what we have in Berkeley. My congratulations to our DDA, the Chamber, for the lovely events of this past weekend. We were amazed to watch the chalk art materialize before our eyes, and the murals that have already transformed our downtown taking shape. These are signs of a vibrant, healthy city indeed. It was Majora Carter who once wrote, "You shouldn't have to leave your neighborhood to live in a better one." Progress is about thoughtfully planning for the future and carefully acting on those plans. Our downtown is moving forward, and as a city, we continue to grow, thrive, and advance. Thank you to all who have contacted me about recent events with suggestions, questions, and concerns. I will continue to gratefully listen, carefully consider, and actively work with residents to ensure that Berkley reflects our values and that our downtown continues to thrive. Again, thanks. And while this workshop focuses primarily on energy and the utility sector, we are a municipal sector. We in the municipal sector have much in common with our utility-minded compatriots. I look forward to sharing the ideas, successes, and lessons that I learned and gained during this week. Yours sincerely, Steve Baker. It is wonderful to have a member of this council as a leading innovator in the United States. And his contribution to creative thinking nationally is well recorded. And we, of course, here on the council know this firsthand, and we're grateful to have him as our Mayor Pro Tem. Talking about mayoral matters, I attended a mayor's conference in Monroe last week. It was a wonderful experience sharing with our colleagues across the state. A couple of things I learned. We have one of the finest councils in the state of Michigan, bar none. We have the best administration in the state, and our department heads are spectacular, our department directors. I just left there, you know, bursting with pride about the collegial spirit, the way our people work together to move our city forward in a collaborative, collegial, respectful way. And that's not the way it is everywhere. I promise you, I listened to mayors relating horrendous stories of underhanded, sinister kind of activities between colleagues. And so my little report tonight is simply to say thank you to this council, to our administration, to our department directors across the city for the wonderful work you all do. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Support.
Move to adjourn by Councilmember Cadecle, support by Councilmember Stedman. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Cadecle?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravlin?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. The July 17th meeting is adjourned. Thank you.